Welcome to the Dragon Slayer podcast by East Idaho Credit Union. I'm your host, Steven. With me, as always, is Bailey. And today's guest, Christine. Are you using your last name?
I don't.
Okay, Christine, also known as the Frugal Fit Mom, also known as Chris.
Awesome.
That's what I grew up calling it.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Social media star and influencer, one of the largest YouTube channels out there today. Businesswoman, real estate mogul, podcaster, all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah, I
What
guess.
am I missing?
I
What am I
guess
missing?
so. Well, I feel like largest YouTuber is kind of a stretch.
It's true, though.
It's best big sister ever.
There you go. Okay, so that's the other thing that I think. This is my big sister.
Yep.
Yeah. So, Chris, are you going by Christine or Chris?
There's very few people that call me Chris. It's usually people that know me really, really well.
Yeah. Okay. But I grew up calling you Chris.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But you can't call it that.
You're not allowed to.
Okay. Good to know.
Okay, so on the podcast today, Dragon Slayer is talking all about business people who've built something, who slayed dragons through the course of their career. And you've got really, really cool stories. Part of the problem with this podcast is I know you too well. I know a lot of your story. And so I'm going to try and
Not talk the whole time?
not talk the whole time, which is difficult.
That's always difficult.
It's always difficult for me. Yeah.
You talk over all your guests?
Yes.
Why does that sound so like you?
Yeah. Well,
I just know you too well. That's what it is.
That's going to be the other problem here. In fact, I feel bad for Bailey because Bailey's going to try and like get in a word edgewise, and it's just probably not going to happen.
It's
Yeah.
so hard when you get the two of us together, family get-togethers. It's just us two, and then everyone else.
It really is.
It is.
Yeah. Okay. So this is one of my favorite examples of all time.
Of all time.
Well,
Wow.
people will frequently ask me, they're like, what's the difference in like the family you grew up in and the difference in the family that your wife grew up in?
Oh, yeah, total black and
Very
white.
different.
It's stark, right? It's so different. And so my wife's family, super introverted. And so I think about like a Thanksgiving dinner with our whole family.
Our whole family?
Our whole family.
It's loud.
It's very loud. There's a lot of talking. There's a lot of talking over each other. There's arguments. There's yelling. Not bad yelling, but good yelling usually.
Yeah, good yelling.
Like,
Yes.
woohoo!
Yeah.
That kind of yelling, right?
A lot of laughing.
Yeah, a lot of laughter. And we go crazy at the meal. We all eat too much.
Definitely.
Did I tell you I did the Big Judd challenge yesterday?
Did you see my picture on the wall?
Are you on the wall?
I'm on the wall.
Oh, she beat you. Dang. How do
I'm
you feel
on the-
now?
What?
Dang.
You've done it?
Yeah, I did it as a college student. So
I love it.
I'm like 20 years old, and I'm in a black shirt, and my hair is down in the picture, and I look like I'm going to throw up.
I nearly did throw up.
My picture's on the wall, man.
Okay, for the
That's
find
impressive.
I'm so mad about that right now. You have no idea.
I am
We're
better
on
than you.
camera, so I've got to keep it together, but I am furious. Okay, so if,
beat Steven at something.
if you're one of our listeners, viewers who don't know what the Big Judd Challenge is, Chris, what is it? What's the Big Judd Challenge?
So Big Judd's is a
as
local.
somebody who's done it.
Yeah, is a local burger joint, and the challenge is you have to eat a 1 pound burger patty. Okay, it's
Yeah.
a 1 pound
That's
patty.
just the patty.
That's just the patty.
Yeah.
It also has all the toppings and the bun. Why is the bun so
It's
huge?
humongous.
It's the size of my leg.
I was trying to calculate
big.
how many calories were just in the burger. I was guessing like maybe 8,000.
Dang.
And you have to eat the fries.
Yes.
And so it's like a big side of fries.
And the drink.
And the drink. You have to finish all of it. You finish all of it, you get picture on the
Clean
wall.
plate.
Clean plate.
Yeah.
And then do you get the meal free? I can't even remember that part. I don't even think you get that. I think you just get your picture on the wall. There's like a
Half off t-shirt.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, they give you half off on a t-shirt too.
score.
Yeah.
But then you
Sorry,
get
Big
bragging
Judd.
rights, and then you're on the wall of fame.
Yeah.
Which I am, and clearly you're not.
I'm not.
I think you have to try it again.
I am so angry about this.
I cut mine into quarters.
I did the same.
And I was like, it's just 4 quarter pounders.
It's
That's what it is.
Only 4 hamburgers.
That's all it is. The first 2 were easy.
Yeah, I got to the third and I was feeling pretty good.
I felt pretty bad on that last
At
quarter.
the last quarter, I was like, I'm not enjoying this as much as I
Sounds
want
awful.
to be anymore.
And I remember so well because I was on a date
Dang.
with not my husband.
Not your husband,
No,
another
his
guy.
name was, oh my gosh, I can remember. Hang on. His last name was Dean. I can't remember his first name.
Dean, if you're out there.
No, his last name was Dean.
Okay.
I can't remember. Josh. It was Josh Dean. That was his name. And that was a Saturday night. And I didn't eat a normal meal until like Wednesday.
Dang.
Okay.
Did he do the challenge too?
No, he just ordered a regular burger and he was like, that doesn't look fun at all.
So, like, at that moment where you're like, this isn't the guy for me, is that like a pretty clear
I was
indicator?
young and I just thought he was cute. I think the real trick is I knew if we got married, my name would be Christine Dean. And
that's
that was
no good.
not going to work.
That's
that was
not great.
Yeah, that was the red flag.
I just want to let you guys know. I was looking up trying to find how many calories are in this thing.
How many is it?
I couldn't find that, but in Boise, their Big Judd's has the 2-pound patty Big Judd's Burger Challenge. So,
Oh.
And how many
so
calories? Did it
here-
say how many
here's-
calories is it?
This is going to make you feel better.
Okay.
First one to beat that challenge out of you two.
Oh, no, I don't even
Oh,
want
yeah.
to. I'm going to get the meat sweats if I do that. And then I'm going to hate every life decision I've made. that
Yeah,
led
well,
me to
you'll
that
definitely
point.
hate that one.
Yeah.
I did that for lunch yesterday. I have not eaten since.
No kidding.
This is like the first thing.
So unlike you too. That's when you know.
Well, and that's the thing. Everybody, because I have a reputation to uphold, right? Which is I eat a lot.
What is the reputation?
I eat a lot.
24/7.
Listen,
I burn hot. I can't help it. It's
Listen.
just what I do.
I've eaten a lot of meals with you.
Yes.
This is what I know.
Okay.
You over order everywhere. And then you don't finish.
I usually
You're
get
just like,
pretty
yeah,
dang
we're gonna
close.
get this. Yeah, let's get that.
Well, I
appetizer.
also do this
definitely want
thing. I also
dessert.
do this
Don't
thing.
eat half of it.
I also do this thing where I'm just like, yeah, I want to try lots of stuff.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
no intention of like completing all of it.
Definitely.
I will
with no
say,
intention of
not yesterday, but the day before,
24.
we had lunch and I ordered 2 full meals. I don't even remember what I ordered, but I had 2 full meals. I remember that.
You got a bento box and
yeah,
like
we
a
did.
sushi box.
Yeah.
A lot. At Fuji?
And guess how much of it I ate?
half.
How much
Everything but the rice.
watching my carbs, you know.
No, you're not. I've heard all kinds of stories from you. I'm not doing caffeine anymore. The next day, we've got a Diet Coke. Come on.
Changes daily.
I have big plans all the time.
I have big plans too, and I rarely do them.
Yeah, well, that's part of how it goes. Anyway, okay, so here's what I want to do. You have a super fascinating story because to me, sorry microphone. To me, you embody, and this, I'm not trying to like be weird or anything, but you embody like the American dream, right?
Yeah, probably.
Let me tell you, and here's why. Because you took nothing and built this incredible thing. Unreal.
I guess you could put it that way.
That's,
yeah.
is that not what happened?
Yeah, but it wasn't intentional.
Okay. So,
It was accidental.
okay. Well, that's not totally true, by the way. A lot of it was highly intentional.
I guess it was just a matter of perspective.
Okay, so I'm going to skip ahead in your life story because I know it and I don't want to hear it again.
Okay.
Because it's not interesting. No, but pretty normal childhood. Right?
Sure.
Grew up in Texas.
Yeah.
We, went to college, did the
Yep.
whole thing, got married, blah, blah, blah. Something happens early in your marriage, though, where you decide you're going to start putting yourself out there a little bit.
Early in my marriage, did I?
Maybe it wasn't that early.
Okay.
When did you start your YouTube channel, though?
Oh, way later in my marriage.
Okay.
Yeah, we got married in 2003,
Okay, 2003.
and we had no money.
Right.
So, my channel's a lot about frugality,
yeah.
saving money,
Because your husband was a school teacher.
living intentionally. Yes, in Idaho. And back then, school teachers in Idaho got paid like $27,000 a year,
Right.
which is nothing.
Yeah.
You take out the taxes and everything. Our paycheck was under $2,000 a month. It was nothing. And we had a baby and we were trying to have another baby. And we had decided before that I was going to stay home with the kids. So we were a one income family and I was home with the kids. So we had to be very intentional with the limited resources that we have. So we developed these skills just out of necessity. Mm-hmm. It was years and years and years later of side hustles and cash flowing Dave's master's degree so he could make more, maybe try something else. And then we moved to Idaho. And even when we moved to Idaho, I was still donating plasma for grocery money and babysitting kids in my home for $2 an hour. I'm not exaggerating. Like anything to get us ahead. So this was over 10 years of marriage of learning these skills and trying to figure out how to live the life you want with very little income. And
I remember a joke I told one time. I don't even think you were there, but it was like the '08 economic collapse. And everybody was talking about their stocks going, my retirement's shot, my stocks are gone. And I said to Dad, I was like, and Christine's coupons are just losing value rapidly, right?
Oh, that's really funny.
Yeah.
Not true.
No,
but
coupons hold their value.
They do indeed hold their value. And then, I started my channel in 2016. I didn't do much with it for a long time. Mm-hmm. So I've been married for 13 years at this point.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And I just did it for fun, for funsies. I tried to do the blog thing. As it turns out, I hate writing. Mm-hmm. It's very boring to me. I prefer to talk to people like this. This is much more fun for me. So videos lent itself to what I liked better. So it was just a good time on YouTube, just doing whatever I wanted.
What was it that made you say, I think I'm going to start this like YouTube channel? Because that was, 2016, it was pretty established by that point.
It was fairly established by that point. I had
but it was still
a horrible camera.
I don't think a lot of people knew in 2016 that YouTube could be like a career. I don't think a lot of people got that at that stage.
I didn't really. I watched a little YouTube because I was a bored stay-at-home mom with no money and YouTube was free. So I just hung out there sometimes while I was babysitting the kids at the house, And I was like, oh, wouldn't it be fun if I did like grocery hauls on YouTube or whatever? Because I watched some of them and I was like, I'm so nosy. I think most people are nosy. And I'm like, what are they buying? Interesting. So I was like, I could do that. I get a lot of groceries for really cheap. It's a weird skill to have, but I have it. So I would do that, like huge grocery haul for a family of 6 for, ridiculous $10. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. What do you remember your first video? Do you remember what it was?
So it wasn't that. So I originally wanted to be a fitness channel.
Yeah.
Because I love fitness and no one watched them at all. So it was like
all these fitness videos. And
I did like triathlon videos and weightlifting and no one cared.
Yeah.
How many videos do you think you did before you knew this isn't it?
I just did all kinds of stuff, but it was, I probably did, I don't know how many, maybe 20 or 25 in the fitness genre that just tanked, like 10 views, 20 views. I did a grocery haul and I got 20,000 views. And I was like, okay.
I remember you telling me this many years ago, like when this was first like going on, like, I'm doing like grocery hauls. And I was like, what?
I know. It's so
people watch that? Are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
They do.
They sure do.
They sure do.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is it. So I have since taken down most of the very cringy workout and my first intro video, that's gone. I've taken all those down. They just don't fit with what I do now. So I just removed those. They were no good.
Yeah.
They were really no good at all.
So this leads into a super interesting discussion, which is around how did you figure out what people wanted to see? Like, how did you figure out, okay, I'm doing these videos that get 10 views. I'm doing these that get 20. Now you have several videos of 1 million+ views. How did you figure out how to crack that code?
Well, it took me 3 years. So clearly I was very good at it from the beginning. Brilliant levels of YouTube knowledge.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I leaned more into like cooking and grocery hauls because those did better.
Yeah.
But I still did some vlog stuff. Nobody really cared about that. I did it because it was fun. I liked watching vlogs from other people that I enjoyed. So I was like, that sounds fun. I'll just do that. And people just didn't come to my channel for that kind of stuff. And I didn't figure that out for a long, long time. So what happened was in 2019, so I'd been doing it for 3 years at this point, and maybe made $200 a month, $300 on a really good month. So it was like I would save for 3 months and buy a camera. And then I would save for another 2 months and buy a microphone. And so it was, I didn't make anything. I didn't take anything for myself. I put it all back into having some better equipment, a ring light, some sound boxes, whatever.
Sure.
And in 2019, I had noticed some other channels that were kind of in my genre with the grocery hauls and the cooking and family stuff growing so much faster than me. I was stuck at like 15,000 subscribers forever, what felt like a year. And these other channels are blowing past me at like 40, 50, 60,000. And I'm like, what are they doing that I'm not doing here? So instead of a hobby, what I decided to do was look at it more analytically. And I'm like, okay, what are people here for? What do people want to see? And so I started doing that. And I remember super, super clearly, it was in October of 2019, I had done a couple of videos that all hit like 100,000 views in the first month. That had basically never happened to me before, except with the exception of the solar eclipse video that I did. That went like viral overnight, but then died. And I saw money starting to come in and my views like going crazy. And I was on vacation with Dave in the Dominican Republic, and I would check on my phone every couple days, and I was like, what is going on? What is happening? And I'm like, okay, something's clicked. I have figured this out. And that's when I started approaching it from like, what do people actually want to see instead of doing whatever I want to do?
I remember talking to you at this point in time, and you had this like mental shift where you were like, oh, I'm going to start running this as a business and less as a hobby.
Yes.
Was it that same kind of that moment?
It was right in that time frame that I was trying to be more intentional with the videos that I made, and trying to put out something that was helpful to more people, that more people would want to see, which led me down into like the viral video that really kicked it off. So those videos bumped me from like 15,000 to 30,000 subscribers in the span of a couple months. And I was stuck at 15,000 for a year.
Right.
So it was like I doubled. So it was super exciting.
Yeah.
And then I did the viral video.
Tell us about the viral video.
The viral video.
This is the one that kind of made your YouTube career. In a large way.
It blew it up for sure. I was already on a growth trajectory because I had changed my ideas, but I was like, okay, someone else had challenged me. They were like, you want to do this video with me, like super, super budget, like feed your family. And I was like, okay. And I worked on this video for about a month where I was strategizing. I was like, what if I went really crazy? Like, really, really crazy. I think the other girl did like 3 recipes on a budget, which was fine. But I was like, no, I'm gonna go big. So I'm like, what if I did like feed my family of 6 for $30? Like that's ridiculous. And I worked on that meal plan and priced everything out at Walmart and failed over and over and over again, and had to change the meal plan because I couldn't get it under 30. And I think I had finally figured it out. It took me so long. Like the planning alone, the filming in the store that ended up being a 30-second segment took me an hour to film in the store. And then I cooked for over a week and filmed every part of it. And then I edited it for like several days after that. And it went big. 126 meals for $30. That's the title of the video.
Crazy.
It's impressive.
Okay.
Yeah, it hit 1 million views in a month.
Yeah. So how many views does it have now? Do you know?
2.2.
2.2 million views. Okay. So let's dissect that a little bit.
Okay.
Because I think this is super, super interesting and something that people struggle with frequently. Whether you're doing social media or doing something else, you talk about this like intentional look at your work and how do I craft it to get the greatest level of success, which I think is a valuable lesson for anybody, no matter what you're doing. What were the little things that you did to craft that in a way that was attractive, that you knew was going to get good success?
So what I know about YouTube is people click on things that are crazy.
Okay.
Okay. There's an emotional pull to like drama and weird. So I knew it had to be like extreme budget. Okay. So I knew extreme had to be in there somewhere. People also really like full start to finish story in one sit down.
Yeah.
They love that.
Everybody hates a part two.
They hate a part two. They don't want that. And I was like, okay, let's, it's got to be all one thing. And then I tried to tell the story like throughout the process, why I bought certain things, why I went this direction. And the title and thumbnail were extremely tricky
Tell us about that.
because they have to click on my video over the hundreds of thumbnails and titles they see when they go on YouTube.
Yeah.
There's so many to pick from. Why would they pick on one that's like, cook with me on a budget?
Right.
That's not enough. That's
Right.
not enough. And I played with it forever. It was like, okay, family of 6, $30, eating for a week, like 7 days, $2 a day. Like, what is it going to be? So I did not lie. I just twisted the wording a little bit
To make it sound more
to make
extreme.
it sound more extreme. So I knew that they were servings. It was 126 servings. Okay, because I was feeding a family of 6. Well, not everybody has a family of 6.
Right.
Some people have a family of 2. Some people have a family of 1. If you were a family of 1, it would be a meal. One serving would be a meal. So I was like, what if I called it meals?
Yeah.
Instead of servings,
Genius.
right?
Yeah.
It was. It ended up being genius. And this is going to sound so snobby, and I don't
I
mean
can't
it.
wait.
I don't
What's
mean
this
it that way.
lovely thing you're about to say?
That video, I'm serious. That video started an entire trend on YouTube. If you go on there now and look extreme grocery budget challenge, you will see my words.
Yeah. I've
My-
seen
It
it.
tastes-
It's everywhere.
Yeah, they use that same exact model
That
to push it.
same
Well,
model.
I think about like cooking on a budget.
Yeah.
Versus what is it, 126 meals for $30. You're saying the same thing.
I am saying the same thing.
Totally.
But it has such a more powerful message that way. Yeah. I think sometimes people forget that words are very powerful.
Yeah.
Very, very powerful. The whole world can change based on how you say a concept.
Yes.
It can start wars. It can end wars. It can do incredible, incredible things. You can say the same thing as this person and this person, but if you change it, it completely alters
Yeah.
how it affects people.
I tried to tweak it just enough
Yeah.
to make it be like, whoa, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah. Okay, so that's not the full package, though. So that's how you got to the name. Tell us about the image, the thumbnail,
It
because
was
that's
just
a big piece
it
of
was
the puzzle.
just a shot of all the food.
It's just a pile of food.
It was but it wasn't that much food. It was
Yeah.
the entire week for $30. I took a picture of the food, and then I think the text was like 126 meals for $30. I put it on the thumbnail. I messed with the colors a lot. I messed with the font a lot, and then one of the keys when you make thumbnails is like scoop way back. Because people look at them on their phone and they're
Right.
like this big. So
Yeah.
is it catchy from really far away?
Yeah.
Does it look nice? And
If there's too much detail. Yeah, because they're not looking at it on a screen this big usually.
right. And listen, I'm no good at thumbnails. Okay. There's so many people that are better than me. I just don't have that eye when it comes to thumbnails. But something about that one, the wording just hit people.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Okay, so the video hits.
Yeah.
I think it's also important to think about what was going on in the world at the moment.
Okay. So this was January 13th of 2020. So nothing was going on yet.
Yes. Okay.
Nothing.
So did it hit immediately and start to take off?
Immediately. Within the first 4 hours, I was like getting heart palpitations because I was like, okay,
Something happened.
this
That's
is
awesome.
gonna be big. And then within 2 days, I was like, holy crap, because my channel was getting like 300,000 views a day,
Yeah.
which was bigger than it had ever gone. I went up to 100,000 subscribers in a month
Yeah.
from 30. Like, it was just insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
So by the time March 2020 hit, end of March 2020, I had already gone up to like 125,000 subscribers. My views were huge. My videos were doing really well. So that hits. And
Yeah.
then, I don't know, everything felt different. Very quickly. Very, very quickly. Ad rates on YouTube dropped in half overnight.
Yeah. Okay. So we've talked a little bit about like you were making money on YouTube. How, for people who don't know, How do you make money on YouTube? How does that happen?
Okay, so there's a few different ways. Number one is ads from Google. Like you watch a video and you have to watch it for 5 seconds before you can skip it. Google puts those in.
Yeah.
And they contract with those people to figure out what videos they want, how long, which one, how much they get paid, blah, 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 blah.
And then Google pays you a slice of that ad revenue.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So they typically pay you 50% of whatever those ads are that are on that video. So those are the number one, most basic, easiest way to get started. So I get a check from Google
Right.
every month from that. The second way is from sponsors. So a sponsor will see, like a brand will see your channel and be like, talk about this protein shake for a minute. Here's some money to do so. Okay, so they give you a check for that. That's number two. Next would be affiliate links. So for example, Amazon, like we just had Amazon Prime Day. So all of my Amazon links are affiliate links. Amazon gives you a very small percentage. It doesn't cost the person anymore. They just go through your link and Amazon gives you like 2-3% of the cost of the sale.
Yeah.
So if you're selling a $30 salad spinner, it's not very much money.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's another way. And then you can have merch. You can like make your own merch and sell that. You can sell programs. You can do a few other things. That's how you make money.
Yeah.
It's basically advertising.
It's advertising.
Mostly,
I
yes.
mean, it's like the exact same model as like television. It's just a new way to consume it.
It's totally television. It's radio. It's podcasts.
Right.
It's all of it.
It's all the same
Facebook
stuff.
has ads. Instagram has ads. TikTok has ads.
It's generate content that's compelling enough to get eyeballs, and then somebody will want to use that attention to sell a product.
Exactly.
Ultimately. Yeah. Okay. So what I think is so interesting about this particular video, your first really, really big video, is its intersection with the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic. Because if you remember, it was right before the pandemic is when you released that video, and then it just never stopped growing, right? It just
No.
never stopped getting traction.
No, it never did. I would say it slowed for a little bit, like March through June, July of 2020. I feel like everything slowed.
Yeah.
Nobody knew what was going on. It was very uncertain. But then everything started gaining traction again in the fall.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting because, the pandemic started to happen and food started disappearing.
Yes.
Prices started going up on stuff. And that content became just so relevant to so many people sort of overnight when that really happened.
I did a video at the end of March about like grocery shopping in a pandemic.
Yeah.
And I showed empty shelves and the line to check out at Winco wrapped the entire store.
Crazy.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
So I was trying to give suggestions in that video of like where else you could go. Like Winco, for example, they had food. It was just a long checkout line. Maybe avoid the bigger like Walmart, a Costco, a Sam's Club. Maybe don't go there because everybody goes there.
Idaho Credit Union offers business accounts that will fit your needs. We have dividend earning checking accounts and high yield savings accounts, like our brand new Velocity Money Market that earns up to 2%. Check us out at eastidahocu.org/business.
Okay, so this is actually an interesting lead-in to a super fascinating topic, which is when you expose yourself to the world,
Yep.
put yourself out there, you get feedback.
You do get feedback.
Tell us about your feedback that you get on all these things that you do.
It is vastly good.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
The majority of it is good. However,
Yep.
as humans, there's been studies on this, how feedback/comments on media, so YouTube or DMs on Instagram or whatever, pick your
Whatever.
poison, okay?
Yeah.
When they are digital, they are not balanced equally. So they say you could have 100 positive comments, good, like 100 people in a row are telling you, this was amazing, this changed my life, thank you so much, blah, 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 blah. Okay, all good things. And it doesn't hit the dopamine response like an in-person conversation would, but the negative is reversed.
Interesting.
So you get one negative comment and it does more damage psychologically than a negative comment would be to your face.
Interesting.
Isn't that fascinating?
That is.
Do you think? I also feel like people are a lot more brave on the internet than they are
'Cause they
in
can
real
hide.
life.
They are anonymous and there is no repercussions for their
Totally.
actions. Yes.
Yeah.
Hide behind their phones.
Yeah, I think you should have to be like, if you're on the internet, you should have to have like your face, your phone number, your address.
Your phone number.
Yeah. I mean, just think about it though. Like, if you knew, like, if we walked around and talked to each other like people talk to each other on the internet, people would be getting hit
People
in the
would
mouth all day
get
long.
punched in the face.
Yes.
man.
All day long.
People
and
are
I
so
think,
mean.
I think that's wrong. I think when you remove the repercussions to your comments, you start acting a fool, don't you?
Well, there's a lot of fools out there.
There are a lot of fools out there.
I would say for me, it's mostly good. It's taken me a few years to get to a place where they just don't bother me anymore. And I'm there now, which is fabulous. But for a while, they really wrecked me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really messes with your head to have people, first of all, not understand you, misunderstand you. And then any video that you do that does really, really well, you get viewers that are not part of your regular fan base. So people who watch most of my videos, they know me. They know who I am. They know where I'm coming from. They understand the nuances of what I do and say. They understand my jokes, my sarcasm, my poking fun at myself. And they know that I never say or do anything intentionally to hurt someone's feelings or be rude. That is not what I do. But you get a popular video and you get, I don't know, 200,000 people that have never been to my channel before,
Yeah,
don't
never
know
seen you
anything
before.
about me, and possibly don't have a sense of humor.
They rarely do.
They have some mean things to say.
Yeah.
I have put together some excellent filtration systems on my comments.
Is that right?
Yes, I have certain words that I have filtered out that don't even come through.
That's
If
awesome.
you use any curse word at all, it's not coming through.
You're out.
You're out.
Blocking out the haters.
Yeah.
It's not even haters. I just don't want that on my channel.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not that's my spot. That's my spot of the internet where I'm trying to cultivate a positive, helping, sometimes fun area where people can go and be safe and not be judged.
Right. Yeah.
And if you're going to be judgy and rude and use bad language in my comments, you're not allowed.
Yeah. Yeah. Kick you right out.
Kick you right out.
What's like the funniest like rude comment that somebody's been, or like what are some of the funny rude comments that people? Because look, I've been on the internet, and people say the most ridiculous, uninformed, idiotic things that you've ever seen in your life. What's some of your personal favorites?
I'm so glad you asked that question. On Instagram, I've been posting, not a ton, because I don't get a ton of bad comments anymore. Okay, but when I get ones that are crazy, I screenshot them and post them on Instagram as a YouTube comment of the day.
I've seen that. It's awesome.
You've seen those?
Yes.
They're hilarious. One of them, it was about Diet Coke. I was making fun of Diet Coke in the video. Listen, I know Diet Coke's no good for you.
Sure.
I'm not an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people in the world drink Diet Coke? Do you know how many people in the world drink Coke? Listen, they're a multi-billion-dollar company. I'm not the only person with a Diet Coke in their hand, okay? So, like, I'll just be dumb in a video and, like, pop the lid and, like, take a slow sip and, like, now we can start the video.
Like, love a cold Diet Coke.
Right?
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's I'm being silly, okay? And someone was very, very upset about, I am so triggered by your Diet Coke. Have you done any research on how poisonous? I can't believe you're going to regret that when you're older and your body's falling apart and XYZ. And I don't even know. But they just went on and on about this Diet
in
Coke.
honor of that comment, cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
For the Diet Coke.
Enjoy your Diet Coke.
That's it, right there. Yeah, that's it.
It just, yeah, it just goes down smooth.
Yeah.
Makes you feel just right.
As my 17-year-old daughter would say, it just hits different.
It just hits different. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like after that last sip, I can go out just attack the day.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
I didn't have it before. Now I have it.
Now I have
Thank
it.
you, Diet Coke.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Diet Coke, for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are some of the other funny ones that you hear? I love how triggered she was about you drinking a Diet
so
Coke.
upset by that. It's hard to remember off the top of my head because it's actually been a little while
Yeah.
since I've had any.
Well, you're filtering them all out now.
Well, no, the crazy ones get through.
Okay.
Like the ones that, like between spelling mistakes and punctuation.
Oh,
and,
that's
like,
always a good
I
time.
literally don't understand what they're saying. I don't know what they're saying. I had one. This was bizarre. It was a guy, I think, based on the profile name, but I don't really know. Could be anyone. Could have been a cat for all I know.
Yeah.
But he basically said, like, why are you showing your house? This is how I would rob you.
Oh my. Red flag. That's awful.
It was so weird. I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah. That's wild. Yeah. Why would you write a comment like that?
That's what I'm saying. They're crazy.
Yeah.
They're insane.
Yeah. Yeah, they really are. Okay. So now I want to ask you about you've done this YouTube thing, you've got this social media presence. If somebody was going to do that, whether they're doing it for themselves personally or maybe they have a job in marketing or something like that, and they're doing that professionally in some way, in some capacity, what advice would you give them? What would be like your tips, whether it be here's how you get great content or here's how you block out the haters, or like what would you tell somebody in like your top couple of items of advice?
Starting from scratch.
Sure.
They have no presence at all.
Let's pretend there's no presence at all.
Nothing.
Yeah.
You need to know why you're doing it. If you are going to get on YouTube because you think it's a quick payday, it will not work.
Yeah. You're wrong.
You are wrong.
Yeah.
You will quit before you ever make a dime because it's going to be too much work and too hard, and you won't see what you thought you were going to see. And if you're also in it for the payday, you're going to burn out really, really quick. So, in my opinion, you have to be very passionate about your topic.
Yeah. So what's yours? What's your why? Why do you do what you do?
So, I love fitness, food, finances, and my family. That's kind of what my channel encompasses, all of those things. What is the coolest thing about what I do is that, believe it or not, I actually do help some people. They send me letters, and they're some of my most prized possessions. About some people, they're not a ton of letters, but some people write letters sharing their stories and how I've helped them through whatever, a hard time, and my videos are a fun escape, or I've taught them how to budget or how to cook. They didn't know how to cook before, and I've really made a difference in their life. That is so rewarding to me. Sometimes, not to get too personal,
Go for it. The whole world's listening.
how many people listen to this? Anyway, sometimes in my personal life, I feel like my circle is small, which is fine. I don't want you to misunderstand me. Like, I don't want to have hundreds and hundreds of, like, quote, close friends or whatever. Okay. I like my circle that's very close to me. We're very tight. But like in my church and in my surrounding community, I don't feel like I have a voice. There, I kind of fly under the radar a little bit, which is probably good, honestly, because you know me, I tend to take over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is fine. So I was feeling like the people in my real life, not my friend group, but like just at my church and in my neighborhood, maybe didn't appreciate me or didn't value any skills that I might have. Maybe they saw that I didn't have any skills. So I was expressing this to a friend. I just felt like I wasn't valuable to them or something like that. And my friend is the most amazing friend ever, because she was like, "You're such an idiot."
You need to have friends that'll call you an
You
idiot.
do. You
Yeah.
really do. And she was like, "Christine, you have this platform where you reach so many more people than the 30
Millions.
people that you would teach at church, or the 30 people in your neighborhood.
Yeah, you have millions of people
Like,
to listen to.
that's ridiculous. You have this. This is what you're doing." And it was able. she opened my eyes to like what was really going on. And then I quit feeling sorry for myself. And I was like, you're right. And I embracing the opportunity that I have there.
Yeah.
So now I don't care.
Yeah.
Like what my community, or not that I don't care about my community, let's be clear. if they want to ask other people to do things, that's fantastic because I have my own thing that I'm able to reach an audience and help people with, which is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Wonderful. Okay.
Do people, when you go out in public, do a lot of people recognize you? How do you do you have any interesting stories there?
I get recognized a lot. So it always feels awkward to me, not because of the person, okay, but because I'm not anticipating it. So I am usually caught off guard. So if that happens, like if anybody sees me, sure, come and say hi, but I'm thinking about milk prices, right? Like I'm not there, right? So just give me a second to like regroup, and it's fine. They recognize Mom.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because our mom's been on your channel a bunch.
Yes.
Yeah, a whole
Yes.
bunch. Well, and she's adorable.
She
So
is adorable.
Everybody loves her.
loves Mom.
Yeah.
So she's been recognized, like, randomly in a Walmart parking lot. My daughter's been recognized.
Yeah, she's been on it a fair amount.
I will say, if you're going to say something to me, please tell me why you're talking to me. Because,
People just come up and start talking to you.
yes,
You're
like randomly.
and you're like, should I know this person?
Yes, yes,
who
that's
That makes it hard.
exactly what it is. So when they came up to Haley was at a birthday party, like roller skating or something.
Yeah.
And this lady that was about my age was like, Haley, oh my gosh, is your mom here? Okay, so Haley's like, oh, do I know you? Sport, volleyball? Are you a volleyball mom? She's like trying to piece together how this person knows me. Have you worked with my mom? She tried to put it together, and the lady was like, the daughter, I don't know, daughter, look, we watched them on TV. And Haley's like, oh, but if you don't lead in with that, we're very confused about what's going on.
Yeah.
I was at Walmart once, and I was just with Dave, just like looking at pumpkins for Halloween. I don't know. This girl comes up to me and she goes, hey, are you filming right now? Like a stranger, totally out of context. I don't think that way, like on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So I was like, what? And then she went until I watch your channel all the time, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Lead with that. Lead with that, so I know what we're talking about.
Well, it's so interesting because when you're in the public eye a little bit, like you are, people like they kind of feel like they have like some ownership over you a little bit, like you're their person.
Yeah. They definitely feel like they know me.
And they know you
We're
really, really
friends.
well, but you don't know them at all.
I don't know that all, so just give me a second.
Right. Yeah. It's always, that stuff's always really interesting.
Here's the other part.
Okay.
So not only does it catch me off guard, but if I find out later that someone recognized me, then I'm like, oh my gosh, what was I doing?
I hope I wasn't picking my nose.
Were Dave and I having like an all-out fight in the aisle of Costco about the candy? And they just watched the whole thing. So now I'm like, crap, what did I do?
I actually have a blog that is like Frugal Fit Mom behind the scenes. And I just do dirt. That's all I do.
Dang.
Arguments,
No, you
arguments
don't.
with Dave. How many Swiss cake rolls you eat. All of it.
Keep that under wraps.
Okay, so I will say this is okay, but it's kind of flavorless, isn't it?
It's gluten free.
But there's good gluten-free snacks. There are.
This is not it.
Dang.
It's not it.
It's okay.
It's crumbly
Disappointing.
and dry.
It's okay.
Okay, it's not what I'm looking for in a snack.
Okay.
There's better snacks in the world.
There's better snacks.
Okay. So advice 1, have a why.
Yeah.
To what you do.
Yeah, I forgot that we were
No, you're
talking about that. Yeah, have
What
a
else?
why.
What
You have to have a
else?
reason. You have to be a hard worker.
Mm-hmm.
This is not something that is lazy. Most people have no idea what goes into making a video that's quality.
Okay, so let's say a 10-minute video. How much time behind the scenes goes into that video?
Great question. I recently did a video where I was filming in store. So I plan out the whole thing prior, okay, which takes at least an hour because I'm researching, I'm planning, I have talking points, I have shots I want to do, I'm scripting. I don't script. That's the wrong word. I'm storyboarding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I drive to the store. I am now filming in the store. Filming in the store is a colossal pain because I don't know where anything is, so I have to like go find stuff. I'm trying to stay out of everybody's way. So I'll go down and people come in the aisle. I'm like, oh, I got to switch aisles. I got to switch over here. I got to go over here. Some aisles are very loud. The refrigerated aisle is very loud. Some stores play their music at a 10.
Stuff I wouldn't even
they
think
do.
about.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
They do. They
Is
do.
it good music though?
Usually, yes. But when it's so loud that I can't talk to the camera because the music is just blaring, I'm like wandering around trying to find a quiet spot. Where are the speakers?
Yeah. You end up in the pharmacy and it just doesn't work.
Yeah. And then the pharmacist is like, can I help you?
Yeah.
Okay. This particular video, I had a phone call that was like, I'm going to be at your house. I need to come pick up these things. I had to leave in the middle, run home to do this errand, waited for an hour for this to take shape, go back to the store. It's now really crowded. Finish. Like, it probably took me 6 hours to get together, like from start to finish, my steps. Then I send it to my editor, who works on it for another 2 to 3 hours. This video was 11 minutes.
Right. Yeah.
It was a minimum of 8 full hours
Yeah.
of effort.
Yeah. 8 hours for 10 minutes.
Yep. And that's a short one.
Yeah, that's no joke, right? Because you've got a lot of videos that are 20, 30, 40 minutes long.
And
Hour and a half,
anything that takes cooking is
is for all day. Just to film.
multiple days. The filming is very time consuming.
Yeah. Yep. Well, and the editing is, I mean, you have an editor now, but I remember when you didn't and you were doing all the editing yourself. And it was like, ugh, I get it.
I
went
always had a
through-
computer in my face.
Yeah, you went through torture to get it filmed, and then you got to sit down and edit it, which takes so much time to do well.
I did when I hit 10,000 subscribers, I did eat 10,000 calories challenge.
It's awesome.
I did that yesterday at Big Judd's.
Yeah, you sure did. And it took me a week to edit that video.
Oh,
It was horrible.
what did you eat? 10,000 calories.
Not enough.
You didn't get there?
I didn't get there. I
What
got
a
to 65.
loser. 60? That's it? You didn't go to Big Judd's then?
I did not. That was a mistake on my part. I did go and get the Jack in the Box tacos.
The best.
Kangaroo tacos.
Yeah.
I was on a like a bus tour and with a bunch of people, and they made a stop at like a gas station. And I got out, walked across the street and got a couple of those tacos and got back on the bus and
Yes.
continued the tour.
Pretty good.
I know.
And everybody was like, "What did you do? Where did you go? What do you
Getting the best junky fast food tacos that exist.
Why are they so good?"
I don't know.
Kangaroo.
I think it's
Kangaroo.
I don't think it's fair to call them a taco. I know that's what they are on the menu, but they're not really a taco.
No.
They're like it's their own thing.
fried shell with a slice of Kraft cheese and seasoned kangaroo meat with a sprinkling of lettuce and hot sauce.
Yeah.
Totally
They're
accurate.
delicioso.
Yeah, they really are good. I don't know why. Okay. What other pieces of advice would
Okay.
you give to somebody here?
Okay, you need to have a passion for what you're talking about. You
Yep.
need to be able to work hard because
Yeah.
it is not going to be easy. It's take way longer than you think it
Yeah.
will. Number 3 is you have to be charismatic in some way.
You gotta have something to offer.
You have to have something to offer. There's a lot of people on YouTube that are not super interesting. And they probably do it because they like it, which is awesome. I love YouTube because I really think there is a space for everybody. If you want to crochet and not ever show your face and just put music on it, people will watch that. They will. I got sucked into watching a dude kill a wasp nest underground using dry ice.
Wow.
I don't know why that video popped up in my feed, but dang if I didn't watch it.
I'm a subscriber of a guy. He has a channel called like Mousetrap Monday or something like that, and he just like does mouse traps, and I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated by it.
Yes.
He probably has 300 mouse traps, and he shows you how they work. It's incredible.
It's like the TikToks where they're just like popping pimples.
No,
Oh no.
Oh, gross.
Oh,
But I can't turn away.
you have to watch it. There is something weird about people's attention, right? I mean, you watched a guy with dry ice. I watched Mousetrap. You're watching whatever you
how
watch.
can you kill a hornet nest with dry ice?
It's intriguing,
It is
isn't it?
intriguing.
But yeah, you're right. There's like content for all the weirdness inside of you.
Yeah.
Isn't there?
There totally is. But
Yeah.
you do have to be charismatic or captivating in some way.
Yeah. So like the guy that I like with the mousetraps, is he charismatic? I don't know, but he's weird enough that I'm interested to see how he behaves. Maybe that's why people like you.
Yeah, I'm just weird enough that what is she going to do next? There's a lot of people that don't like me, and that's fine because there's some that do.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be the case no matter what your personality is
Yeah.
or
Totally.
what your topic is or whatever. There's a space for you and there's an audience for you.
Well, so on that note, like what's some of the advice that you would give to somebody about dealing with the negativity, dealing with the people who don't like you, who in fact despise you? Like, how do you do that? What's your advice there?
Okay, so that's such a hard thing to coach someone through because it is truly where you are in your life. And that's very individual. So I said right now, I'm so good. It doesn't bother me at all. A huge part of that is I'm going to call them my real life people. I have a great support system in my family, in my kids, in my friends. In the last year, I have met this amazing group of friends that I think everyone should have. They are so positive. They are your cheerleader no matter what you do. They want success for you. And a lot of the hate that you'll get online are people that are the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Like they're really jealous. They don't want success for other people, which is really sad. That's a sad place to be.
Well, because when you read those comments, a lot of the time you look at them and you're like, oh, what a sad person. That
Yeah.
they feel like
You
this
feel
is
bad
how
for
they
them.
should behave.
Yeah, it is sad. And so being able to be with these people in real life and have them model what truly healthy mental headspace looks like, really living a fulfilled life and being happy for everyone around them, I'm like, this is it. This is it. So this group of people have really done good things for me mentally. And sometimes you just have to put the computer away. You have to put the phone away and go and live your life. You need to go outside, turn the TV off, just turn it all off and just walk away. That is so helpful
Yeah.
for me personally.
Yeah. So you've been ultra successful in YouTube in particular and the social media space at large. And you've taken a lot of that success and parlayed it into other things. Tell us about that. What have you done?
What other thing?
I don't know. What other things?
What do you mean by that? Oh, well, I guess we started doing real estate. Here's what's interesting. After living frugally for so long, there's actually not a lot of stuff that I need.
Yeah.
I have everything I need. I have a few things I don't need. And I know how to live pretty simply and find fulfillment and joy from that. Very content with what I have in my life. So the money that comes in, I don't want to waste it. And I've always been interested in real estate, never had the means to do it. So I was like, what if we just bought a couple properties and rented them? And my favorite thing about that is we've been able to use the properties that we own to help families in a tight spot.
Yeah.
Every family that we've rented to so far has been stuck and just needed like a little step, a chance. And it has been so gratifying to be able to provide that. And I think that's something that the people who don't want you to succeed, they don't understand.
Yeah.
Is the best thing about being successful financially is now I can help other people.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to help other people before. Like, not really. I couldn't donate as much as I wanted to. Like, what did I have to give someone else? Nothing. Maybe a listening ear, perhaps, but from a financial standpoint, you can give people a leg up because you've been able to be successful. That is really, really gratifying to me.
Yeah.
To be able to do that.
I'm glad you mentioned that. That's what I wanted you to talk about because that's something that we've talked privately where I've just said, I'm so proud of you for doing this. I don't think I would do this if I was in your position because you have with a lot of people, you've seen their situation in life and you're renting a place to them well below market.
Yes.
To help them out, to help give them a leg up in life and to help create the step that ultimately becomes the springboard to something better. And I think it's incredible. It's inspiring to me personally, and I think it's really beautiful. And I'm glad you mentioned that because I do think that's so cool. What's next? What's on the horizon?
What's on the horizon for me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a lot of irons in the fire, or whatever the cliche is.
That's the one.
That's the one.
Yep.
So I'm working on putting together my own podcast right now, coming up with the topics. I have a loose idea for the first episode. I'm really excited about it.
What is it? You can share anything?
Yeah, let's circle back to that.
Okay. All right.
I am putting together a course
Yeah.
right now for how to cut your grocery budget by a lot. I think everyone needs that right now. And then I'm putting together a membership group where it's more, I get asked a lot for me to coach people, but I don't have the time. It would be too expensive for them to do one-on-one.
Yeah.
So it's going to be more of a group thing that I'm kind of working on. Working on all of those right now, concurrently with also filming videos. And it's summer, so my kids want to do all the things.
Yeah. Well, you're all over the place all the time.
It's crazy.
I think we had to like reschedule this. I think that was mostly my fault actually, but
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that
I'm going
was
to blame it on you. But I'm going to blame it
No,
on
I'm
your
going to blame
kids.
it on you. Because your other guests were more important than I was. That's what it was. He knew I would come in no matter what.
I had a strong suspicion you would.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Anything else that you got going on that you're excited about, that you're ready to share? Because I know of like a half a dozen other things, but I'm not going to share them if you don't.
Have I forgotten that? Yeah. what did I write them down? I write everything down because I can't remember anything.
I know. Yeah.
What else did I have that I told you?
Do you want?
Remind me.
You want me to share?
I don't know. I might tell you to X-nay that.
Okay. There's the.
Oh, yeah, that's on hold for now.
Okay. We won't share that one.
Okay.
Okay. Well, maybe we're.
Nobody could guess that though, so we're good.
I
We're
knew,
good.
I knew exactly what that was. The overhead's really high on that. In comparison to the one step at a time.
Thin margins on that.
Thin
one.
margins on that one.
Yeah. Well, be cool though.
It would be cool.
Yeah. Anyway, maybe the next time you're on, we can talk about that.
For all us nosy people, we're like dying inside over here.
What else was there?
I don't know how do I.
You're gonna
share
text
this
her?
one? Yeah. You were gonna. You know that one?
Is that a book? What is that?
Yeah, that's a book.
Oh, yeah. That's also my first podcast episode.
Oh, okay.
Idea. I think it would make an awesome book. Here's where it stemmed from.
Okay.
So I've had the opportunity recently in the last few months to talk to many, let's call them acquaintances and friends of mine that are all mothers. Okay. I love doing that. It's my favorite thing. I don't get to talk in person to a lot of people because I'm working a lot of the time. And then, teenagers, it's life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I've had an opportunity to talk to many women. And the theme across my conversations with all of them is that they are frustrated, they are exhausted, they feel guilty, they don't know how to have the life they want. They feel stuck. And I feel really compelled to address that issue. So working title, How to Be a Kick Butt Mom.
I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Book, podcast idea kind of thing. I've really kind of talked it through with Dave a lot, trying to pinpoint what it is, like how can I say the right thing to help these women get to a better headspace, to help them find fulfillment in motherhood, which is wildly challenging and soul-sucking and very thankless a lot of the time.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
Yeah.
But I've just seen a common theme across all of these women that I've spoken with. And I just, like, there needs to be something. They need to have a cheerleader that says, like, this isn't it. Like, you can have not more in the sense of you can do it all. Like, not that. That's not what I'm saying. But, like, how do you let go of the guilt? How do you take care of yourself and your family? What really matters? How do you prioritize? I'm working on that.
Yeah. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
you already got me sold. I'm like,
Are you?
I'm in.
Bailey's like,
I've been talking it out with Dave a lot, and I've said a few phrases that he was like, "Whoa, that like hit me," and I'm like, "Oh, write it down.
Write it down.
I can't lose it."
Yeah. Yeah.
I've coined a phrase.
I put them on my phone all the time.
Yeah?
Yeah. I know what you mean. Well, that's really cool. I think that'll be really incredible, actually.
I have no idea where to start. I'm overwhelmed with the thought of it,
Yeah.
but I feel so passionate about this topic
Yeah.
because I see it everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're right. Well, and I want to ask you about this because I think it's part of the same conversation. What I've always looked up to you for, and what I've always been proud of as a family member, as a sibling, is there is like no hill you can't climb. There's nothing that you feel, whether you know this about yourself or not, there's nothing that you're unwilling to tackle, right?
Well, that's true.
Yeah. And I've always really appreciated that about you and always really loved that about you. I think it would be really interesting for our listeners to hear about what are some of the, because we talked about like, yeah, there's some work, but look at all this cool stuff that you've been able to do. What were some of the difficulties that you had to overcome? What are some of the like the down in the dumps moments that you had to get through?
For what I do now or in life, or what are you talking about?
Yes.
All the above.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. Because like you're very well spoken, you're confident, but that was hard earned, right?
That was hard earned.
Yeah.
Yes.
That didn't just happen to you.
No.
Yeah.
I think if I saw most of the people that knew me in high school, if they noticed me at all, would not recognize me today. They would not. I was the shy kid.
Right.
I never said anything. I didn't want to be called on in class. Someone laughing at me or being singled out was the most embarrassing thing. My face would go bright red. Speaking in front of a group would make me want to throw up. And I'm sure a lot of people relate to that. You know, I took a speech class in college as a freshman, and it was horrible. It was so horrible. Like, the butterflies were so bad, and I'd be at the microphone, and I could hear my voice shaking, and I'd be like, that concludes my whatever, like, however you end, I don't know, and like run out and
I'm sorry,
throw
thank
up
you.
in the,
Bye.
in the bathroom, in the hall. Like, it was really, really bad.
Yeah.
I just, like, complete panic and fear and terror.
And I think most people today, if they heard that, they'd be like, what are
Right.
you talking about?
Exactly. They would be shocked.
Right.
But here's what's really cool about having a weakness is it makes you work on it harder. So I have watched like the TED Talks, studied storytelling, how to put together a coherent story. I've paid attention to other speakers, like piecing apart, like, what do I like about this? Or I've listened to others I didn't like. And I'm like, okay, what is it about this? Like, very analytically, what do I not like about this? What engages me? I'm going to try and do that. And I practiced. I practiced and I practiced. I can't tell you how many times I have written out a speech or whatever, word for word, printed it out, stood in front of the bathroom mirror with a timer, and like tried to look at myself as many times as possible, look down at my notes, back up at me, practice. I hate that line, scratch it out. Like, time, how fast did I go? It sounds ridiculous, but I did.
Yeah.
And somewhere along the way, I got more comfortable with it.
Yeah. I think that's an amazing like experience, right?
Yeah.
And your comment of having a weakness gives you an opportunity to like really work hard on it and get better at it. You've taken something that you were excruciatingly weak at, and now you're very strong.
Who knew?
At that. Who knew? Because you're willing to put in the work. I think there's also another thing here, which is you're willing to identify and come to grips with your own weakness, which I think is a struggle that a lot of people have. How do you get into the right kind of mindset to look at yourself and evaluate? How do you get there?
I don't know how you get there. That's a really good question. Okay, so I saw this video. It was probably on YouTube.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
probably.
And it was this guy who was like paralyzed and very overweight, is a very unfit guy. Maybe he wasn't paralyzed, but he was in a wheelchair because of something. I can't remember. And it was basically, the video was him trying to learn how to do a handstand, like walk across the room, do a handstand and hold it. Okay. You know, when YouTube was like weird videos.
Yeah. Why was that the thing?
Why was that a thing? I don't know.
Yeah.
But that video was so inspiring because it covered like him working on this for a year. It was a year's worth of footage, not a long video, less than 5 minutes or something. People like the start to finish.
They do.
They do. And
Well, they love a compelling story.
they do. And he would get on there and he'd fall on his head and he didn't have any strength and he couldn't walk and he couldn't balance his body weight correctly because he wasn't used to like moving his body that way. And he was like, just because I can't do it today doesn't mean I can't do it. And I was like, yes,
I love that.
yes, I can't do it yet.
Yeah.
I can't do it yet. There's a YouTube channel I love right now. Loving. It's a mountain bike channel. They're professional mountain bike racers and they're married. Okay. The channel is called Sid and Mackie. And I love them. Her particularly, she had a nerve injury that took her off the bike for like 2 years. And so she's in the process of getting back into the fitness level and being able to move. Like she couldn't walk for a long time because of this injury. And she said something in a recent video that was, you can't be better than you are. And it sounds like a negative, but I didn't take it that way and she didn't mean it that way. Because you have to be okay with where you are now. Like this is where I am. And when you look at someone else, be like, oh, that's where I was, that's where I used to be, or this other person is like so much better than me. But I can't be them. I can't be where they are. I am where I am. You can't be anything than what you are now. But that doesn't mean that you can't work on it and get there. It's a process. It's a super inspiring YouTube channel. I really, really like it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, so something that people may or may not know about you is you were a collegiate swimmer. And something that they also may not know about you is that of our siblings, and don't take this the wrong way, you're probably the least naturally athletically gifted
That's true.
out of
That's true.
out of the four of us.
Stephen and Karen I think Karen was the most.
Probably Karen was the
The most athletically
Yeah.
gifted. She just like had it.
Yeah.
But she didn't.
Just a monster, like
a
physically.
monster, yeah. If she had worked at it, I think she could have been excelled at so many different things.
Yeah, but you went on to get a scholarship and participate in collegiate athletics on a scholarship, not because you were the most talented, but because
I worked my butt off.
worked your butt off. And what
I
did the
was-
rest of us do? We didn't.
You did not. Well, the good thing about swimming is it's a lot of technique. It's very technique driven, and I was a student
Yeah.
of the technique and learned it up and down, and it's natural to me now.
Yeah. Well, you've done it your whole life at a
Yeah.
very high level for a long time. Yeah. You do a bunch of like triathlons and stuff. And,
Yep.
and the stuff that's like very dependent on like natural physical ability, like the run, right? The run.
Yes.
I know it was a little bit harder for you, but you get in the water.
Oh, I beat everyone.
Flying by
I beat everyone in
everybody.
the swim, and then all the dudes passed me on the bike.
Yep.
And the rest of the women passed me on the run.
Yeah.
I just get past the whole race.
But one of the themes that I've seen in your life, and you said this a minute ago, is that you were a student of it. You're a student of swimming. You're a student of YouTube as the platform of your choice. You're a student of like recognizing the problems of people around you and figuring out how do I solve those problems for people. What happened to you? Why are you this way?
I'm very curious, which got me in a lot of trouble as a child.
Sure.
Because when I was told to do something, I would often ask why I had to do that thing. Not because I was being combative.
You just wanted to understand.
I just want to understand. I think I'm like that as an adult. Like I hear something and I'm like, huh, why is that? I just want to like wrap my brain around all of it. I want to understand all the pieces to it. I don't know what made me that way.
You're also a really good listener of stuff. Like if you'll find material and you'll consume it, whether it's a conversation or a book or a podcast or a video or whatever. And then and anybody can do that. That takes like no talent to do that.
Thanks.
Well, but here's what, and that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, no talent.
At the end of this
here.
podcast, I just want you to know you have no talent.
I think that it's because I'm lazy. I think I want the most efficient way to do something because I want to work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, well, that's my point, is you take all the information and you distill it down. That's what you're so good at, actually, is taking the useful bits of all of the content and figuring out how to apply it effectively because you're lazy.
I am lazy. Hashtag efficient.
Hashtag efficient.
That's what it is.
I like it. I like
I
it.
love that.
Okay, Christine,
Steven.
if you were going to give like a message to the world, what's your message that you want to share?
What is my message? Oh my gosh. That is not one of the questions you sent me.
Were any of the other ones questions that she sent you? Maybe a couple.
Not
Very-
really.
Not really.
No.
Basically none. And I reviewed all of them.
We're getting to the Bailey
Dang.
portion of the interview here in just a moment.
Oh, are those the questions that I read? Oh, no.
No, this will be about Bailey will take a swing at you after this. But what's the message
Great.
to
What
the
is
world?
the message?
What's the one?
The one message?
It
Oh,
would go on your tombstone. What's your epitaph? What's
she
your
laughed.
Okay, I don't like that. Try again.
Try again.
Perfected the chocolate chip cookie.
I love that.
Oh my gosh, that's too hard. I feel all this pressure.
You should.
My heart is pounding. Sweat running down my back.
Ugh. Don't mess up the upholstery there. Yeah.
My message. You know, I think whatever it is that you want, you can have it. You can have almost anything that you want. You can't have everything that you want. But if you pick one thing and you focus on it and you work hard, most of the time you can have it. And I don't think people put enough emphasis on the importance of relationships. I'm not saying your boyfriend or your girlfriend, although that can be one of them. Just the happiest people that you'll meet are the ones who prioritize relationships, close personal relationships with their friends, their partners, their families, whoever might be in your circle. If you have really, really strong connections with your community in that friend circle or whatever it is, they're generally very content people. I think I'm on the internet, but I think the internet kind of takes away from that a little bit. It's really important. If you don't have people in your real life, go find some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you make a living on the internet. I basically do too. But yeah, there's no replacement for real human beings in your life. No replacement. And a lot of people hide from that because real human beings are scary. And relationships can be hard.
Yes.
Take effort.
But they are worth it.
They're worth it. They're worth it. Yeah. You know, I feel like almost some of the most important things, maybe the important thing in life, it's not a car. It's not a jet ski. It's being able to sit down and have a laugh with somebody that you deeply care about.
Yes.
Right? Like that is life right there.
Yes.
And everything else is periphery. That's how I've always felt about that.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
At Idaho Credit Union, we're a full-service business lending center. We can help with all of your needs, from a small startup all the way to a large enterprise and everything in between. Our commercial loan officers will work with you to understand your business and to help get you to the next level. Come check us out at eastidahocu.org/business.
All right, Bailey, what do you think?
Well, I don't want this to end because I'm enjoying it so much. I'm like, I want her to talk all day. How can we just keep this just all day?
Come to a family reunion.
Oh my
You'll get
gosh.
sick of us. Me and Steven will just like...
It's 4th of July. There's like 30, I don't know, maybe not 30, 25 people sitting around. And it's just Christine and I just
Yammering
talking
on.
over everybody else. Everybody trying to have like their side conversations. Yeah. They've worked with me long enough to not be shocked by that at all. So
Yeah, it's... If you've never been in our family before, it probably takes some getting used to.
I think everybody who's married into our family for like a good year, they're like, this is awful.
I don't think Dave felt that way.
Okay, well that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but like when it's the group all together,
Yes,
it's hard.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It can be overwhelming.
A lot of stimuli. Yeah.
I want to be a fly on the wall because I'm nosy.
Well, and like this is like a pretty tame conversation for us actually. There's like a number of if this was not like a public podcast, I would have asked some really different kind of questions. That would have been interesting.
Thanks
but
for not doing that.
Yeah, but maybe not appropriate for this. But yeah, it's always interesting to bring somebody into the family, and occasionally we'll find somebody who can like kind of handle it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Occasionally.
Sometimes.
Okay, so for all the nosy people like myself, what's your morning routine like? What do you do?
It's different every day. I don't, right now, at this stage of my life, I don't have a morning routine. I feel like I am in survival mode every single day because it's the summer and my kids have all these crazy things going on. Like, for example, my son is learning how to close at his job right now. He doesn't drive. So guess who got to go pick him up at 11 p.m.? Me. Good times. So when I go to bed at 11, I cannot wake up at 5 or 6 to go work out. It doesn't happen. So this morning, because I was coming here, you know, I slept in a little bit, tried to do a little bit of computer work. I'm always doing computer work. Trying to do some tax stuff, which is super fun. Accounting, receipts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Great time.
Just adult things.
Adulting.
Yeah.
You know, took a shower, got dressed, had breakfast. Like, it was like just nothing fancy. I watched a YouTube video while I did my makeup.
Sure.
Other days, like yesterday, I dropped my daughter off at a camp for the week. Dave and I took her. So yesterday morning, we got up early and we did a trail run in Yellowstone National Park. And then drove home. Every day it's different. It's always crazy.
Is it by design, or is that just like just going with whatever's going on?
Yeah. During the summer, we just go with whatever's flying at us that day, that week. It's always different. There's camps all the time. It's always crazy.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, I'll probably paint my daughter's room.
You're not gonna make her do it?
She's at the camp. I'm making a video on like a teenager room refresh.
Oh, does she know?
She kind of knows because we kind of picked colors and
But it's
stuff
going to be kind of
together.
a surprise.
But she
and,
thought she was going to be doing it and helping, but I'm just going to surprise her.
Yeah,
It's gonna
that'll
be
be fun.
Unless I'm too tired.
Yeah.
And then I won't. You know what's great about this stage of my life? This is something I've really mastered, is not being guilty about anything.
I haven't felt guilt in years.
It's really freeing because, like, well, first of all, it serves you no purpose. How does guilt help you in anything? You just feel bad, and then you're less productive. The most important thing to me is sleep. The most important. So, like, my schedule revolves around me sleeping.
Yeah.
I'm a better mom. I'm a better friend. I'm a better wife. I'm a better YouTuber. I'm better.
Yeah.
So it's like if I go to bed late, I'm sleeping in.
I've run up against that wall a couple times with you where, and usually if I'm like, hey, it's like midnight, let's go get something to eat.
Let's go get a double Del.
That's right. We're going to hit the old taco. What is that place?
Del Taco.
Del Taco and get ourselves
Love
a
Del
double
Taco.
Del.
Great burgers.
Why did
What?
I know you
This
would.
is
Burgers?
This is one of my secrets for life, guys. It's the double Del burger
It's
at
double
Del
Del burger.
Taco.
Yeah.
It's so good. I don't know why. But
I don't know
it
why
is.
either.
But I've run up against that wall where I'm like, yeah, let's go do it. And you're like, are you out of your mind? I have to sleep.
Yes, I have to sleep.
Yeah. That's something I don't do well enough.
Everything is bad if I'm not sleeping. Everything is bad. I find no joy in feeling that bad. So I have no guilt at prioritizing that.
It's like you with food.
Yes, thank you.
You have to eat.
Thank you. Yeah.
You do have to eat.
You have to eat.
I agree.
You need to
That's
fuel.
probably a horrible answer. That's not what you're looking for at all.
No, that was great.
I have no routine. I do whatever I want.
Prioritize sleep.
Prioritize sleep. That's what I do.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Anything else?
That's
you
the
wanna
only
ask?
question you had?
Anything else you want to ask, Bailey?
You asked all the other ones, so
I
I feel
did.
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should end.
Okay.
You ready to end?
I can do whatever you want.
Anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. There were some questions you had on the list that I kind of liked.
Okay.
Oh, what were they? I've never seen the
So
list.
Yes, you have.
There's a
Don't lie.
huge list of questions.
Yeah.
It's enormous. You've never seen it?
I have.
Yes.
I just not for a long
I thought
time.
you made them.
Did I make them?
We made it together, and yes, you know what the questions, you've seen them.
So which ones did you like?
Okay,
They were
okay.
probably the ones I wrote.
Maybe. I really liked the one where what was the best compliment you've ever gotten?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great question.
Okay. So I actually have one for this.
Yeah. What was the best compliment
So
you've ever
it's
gotten?
not really a compliment.
Okay.
Okay. But this has happened to me a lot. Okay. So I've had many people who have been assigned to work with me on various projects, volunteer projects at the school, PTO, church, community, all kinds of things. Okay. And they're usually women. Mm-hmm. And after we've worked with this person, at least 10 different women, okay, have sat down and said, "You're nothing like I thought you would be." But it's good.
Did they elaborate?
A little.
Okay.
They would say like, "You're so interesting, and I would have never like been friends with you had we not been assigned to work together. But I'm so glad that we had to work together." So it's a weird.
It's unusual.
Yeah, you weren't expecting that, were you?
So you am I reading into this by saying like, oh, you make a bad first impression?
Yes,
on
I make a
people?
horrible first impression. No, the point is that when people take the time to get to know anyone, you find something that you can really appreciate. And I know, yeah, maybe I do give a bad first impression. A lot of people are intimidated by me.
Yeah.
And-
When you're confident, people who are not confident struggle with it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
But I think when they're forced to work with me, they're like, "Oh, she's actually not that bad.
She's okay. Yeah.
She's okay.
It's interesting.
It's not so scary."
Yeah.
So I actually think of that as a compliment, even though maybe most would not.
I agree with you that there's goodness in basically everybody. There's something good, something you can appreciate, something that you can love, admire in just about everyone. And yeah, I agree with that. I appreciate that comment because some of my favorite people I've ever met had a pretty kind of prickly exterior. But once you get past it, you're just like, oh, there's so much good in there that I kind of had to dig to get to, but I'm so glad I got to it because it's so wonderful. It's so beautiful. Yeah, I think that's
There's
an
this
interesting compliment.
There's this lady at church who's like the sweetest little old lady. Okay?
Yeah.
I don't know how old she is. She has to be in like mid-late 70s. Okay?
Yeah.
And she's super friendly, and we talk on the street. She's my neighbor. So she came up to me at church recently, and she was like, "I found your YouTube channel." Because a lot of people in my real life don't know about it.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't share it frequently.
It's
with-
not something I talk about a lot
Yeah.
in like person. And I was like, great. I was like, you don't have to watch that because you know me. And she was like, "You are so fun. How come we never see that side of you at church?" And I was like, well, we're at church, first of all. Like, you're supposed to be like a little more
trying to get my Jesus on. Give me some time here. Yeah.
trying to ponder the good word, you know? And she was like, "I love that." And I was like, well, if I was teaching a class or something,
Yeah.
you would see that. But usually I'm just trying to like not talk over everybody else. I just thought that was funny because she was like, "I've never seen that side of you."
Yeah. You know,
I was like, but that is me.
yeah. I think about our grandma, Grandma Rojo.
Yeah.
She's passed away now, but was this Cajun woman who grew up very poor.
So poor.
Just you wouldn't even believe like the stories, just ridiculously poor. And we've been out to the farm that she grew up on a number of times, and even now you're like, this is poor.
Yeah. You see that farm and you're like, whoa.
Yeah. And it's like come a long way since she was young, right? But anyway, she was kind of one of these people who people talk about their grandma, and I'm like, huh? And they're like, oh, they're so sweet, nurturing. I was like, that's not my grandma.
Not my grandmother.
Yeah. She's like really
No nonsense.
no nonsense is maybe the right is a kind way to say that.
She expected a lot from people.
Super high standards.
Did
No
so many
nonsense.
things well. Highly capable.
She was a brilliant woman, a brilliant woman. And for most of my life, like 30 years, I was like,
scared of her.
what's
I
that?
was a little scared of her.
Yeah, scared of her. Yeah.
You don't be on the list.
A temper like you've never
Oh,
seen.
yeah, holds a grudge.
Holds a grudge, temper, but largely because it was related to like her high standards for things. And if you didn't reach the standard,
Yeah.
you were gonna know about it.
Yeah, you were going to know about it.
And sometimes there were like landmines and stuff that you didn't even know were there. It was like, I like one of my favorite stories is about our little sister Karen,
Constantly on the list.
constantly on the list. And I remember this one time I think it was a shrimp boil that we had, or maybe crawfish or something.
Probably
I don't remember.
shrimp.
I think it was
Grandpa
probably
didn't like the shrimp.
Yeah. And Karen took, I don't know, 10 shrimp or something like that. And these are big, like Louisiana
Yeah,
Gulf
they're
shrimp.
big.
They're like this big. And Karen takes like 10 shrimp and eats like
She didn't finish her plate.
8 of them. Right?
Yeah, that'll do it.
And she lost her mind.
Because you don't waste food.
And she was like, well, for the rest of the time she's here, she can go eat at McDonald's.
Yeah.
And she meant it.
yeah,
She would
ungrateful.
not feed Karen the rest of the time we were there for that vacation. This is just the kind of woman she was. But here's my point. She had this kind of prickly exterior. But when you got past it, and it was easier to get past kind of later in her life, she mellowed out some.
A lot.
Oh, yeah, like probably a lot. The most kind, like empathetic, caring woman.
She was so great with my kids, and I was
So good.
terrified to bring my kids.
It kind of made me a little mad because I was like, why weren't you this way with me? Like, why
It took an extra generation.
it took a generation to get her there.
She just couldn't tolerate you. That's what it was.
That's what it was, yeah. But so kind, so empathetic. She taught like my kids how to like pollinate flowers by hand, and because she knew how to do everything
She did.
and well, right? And I mean, this is a woman who had a doctorate. Right? She went from
Like-
dirt poor
like in
to a
the
doctorate.
60s.
Yes,
That's impressive.
That didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And could do there was nothing that actually you remind me a lot of her in this way, where she could do anything like that. You're kind of the same way. And man, it was so wonderful to spend time with her when she was like, I'm going to teach you how to do this thing. Because it was so loving and so caring and empathetic when she did that sort of stuff. And but most people that she associated with did not know any of that about her.
Right.
Going back to this thing about relationships, Grandma could have had these beautiful relationships with people, but she struggled to let that prickly side down a little bit. And a lot of that was influenced by like her upbringing and her life. And it's tough to be Cajun in the time period that she was. Like they'd outlawed French in every public building in Louisiana, which was her first language.
Relentlessly for her French accent. So
Yeah.
she didn't speak with a French accent at all.
Yeah, in fact, I don't know if you heard her speak in French a lot later in her life.
I did when I was a teenager a little bit.
Yeah. She
but-
kind of stopped for the
she-
most part.
But you know, people who the French is their first language, they have that French accent.
Yeah.
No, she eliminated that, so
It was
she wasn't
gone.
made fun of.
It was gone. She tried to hide her Cajunness in a major way. But I was down at the farm and with her, and we were visiting some of the neighbors who only speak French. And when she speaks it, or when she spoke in French, then this was like maybe a couple years before she passed. She had an English accent. She had like an American accent in French
Because it had been so long.
because she had eliminated it so much because she was so embarrassed about it for so long. Anyway, interesting little family history for you.
Interesting woman.
Yeah, very interesting.
She's the one that would shoot the gators.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, they've heard some stories about her already. Bailey, what other question? Or what were some of the other questions that
Okay,
you
well,
liked?
the other one was similar to that one.
Yeah.
What was the worst or best Not compliment, the other one, insult.
Insult, sure. Yeah.
Okay. So again, maybe not what you're expecting.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, when people say to you, wow, you're different.
Yeah.
Or you've changed. Okay. They mean it as an insult. But I think it is the opposite. Because I would be so disappointed if I was the exact same person that I was 5 years ago,
Yeah.
3 years ago, 1 year ago, 6 months ago. Because if we're not growing and getting better and changing our perspectives and digging into who we are and what we think and believe and how we act, if we're not getting better at those things, what the heck are we doing?
Yeah.
I think that's the best thing someone could say to you. But they don't mean it that way.
They probably don't most of the time. Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good one, actually. That's a really, really good one. I always love to take an insult and then feel good about it.
Okay, so what's an insult that you like?
You're too good looking. You know?
Stop, no one says that. Except on my channel. When Steven's on my channel, everybody's like, is he single? So now I've had
my
to be like,
gosh.
he's married. And ew.
And
Yeah, and gross. Give me a break, guys. I do remember one comment about, because I've been in a couple of your videos, I do remember one comment about me that I really liked. It was meant to be kind of mean, but I thought it was so funny.
Was it about your jeans being
Yes.
tight?
oh my goodness.
They were like, why does he have to have his jeans so tight? Doesn't he know that that's going to like give people bad thoughts? You know, stuff
They
like
must have not seen the fashion these days. It's all about the dudes in the skinny jeans, man.
I didn't
True.
think mine were particular. I was just wearing Wranglers.
I know,
you
they're just Wranglers. They ride horses. Like,
I know.
what?
I didn't know it was a big deal.
Me neither.
But
Maybe in the 90s it was.
made quite the impression. You know, people liked it. What can I say? I'm
You
trying to
take
think-
every single comment and is like, oh, that's how they feel about me.
I'm trying to think though, like of insults. I've got a pretty good like filter for just not caring about. So it's even difficult for me to remember a lot of insults, to be
I
honest.
feel the same. I have a pretty nice filter, and I feel like, okay, people don't insult me to my face.
Yeah, almost never.
Almost never.
Yeah.
It's online when they can hide behind their keyboard a little bit,
Yeah.
but even then, not so much. But what I have noticed is I can pinpoint the people that are very intimidated by me because they lash out in weird,
Yeah, unusual ways.
very unusual ways. And this has happened multiple times just in the last year that someone will lash out. And I'm so shocked by the behavior that I'm like, I'm speechless. I have no response because I was like, are we really doing this right now? Like they'll accuse me of something that is just in their own head.
Yeah.
Right. That's completely ridiculous. And I walk away from that and I'm like, I don't feel good after it's happened, but it's always like something about me is like triggering some insecurity that they have.
Yeah.
And they just like, it's weird.
I kind of have a bit of a rule where insults are completely meaningless to me, dependent on the source.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And one of my criteria for am I going to listen to this feedback is, are you brave enough to say it to me?
Yes.
If you're not, then and you're too weak of a person and too afraid to actually own up to the comment, then I completely discount it. Like it does not even exist to me. Because why would I care to listen to somebody's feedback about something that clearly doesn't have my best interest in heart, right? Like that's not what they're trying to do. And so I'm just not interested in hearing from any of those people. Now, the flip side is that if you do have the guts to come and tell me, I'm really going to listen. Like I'm going to really take it seriously, and I'm going to be interested in what you have to say. Now, if you're just being ugly, then I don't have time for that. Like,
Right.
But if you have a genuine like thought or concern, and it's said properly, right? If it comes across as like, hey, this is a thing I noticed that I don't like, and I want to talk to you about it, I have a ton of respect for that.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm like all ears. But like passive aggressive behavior,
Yeah.
trash talk behind people's back, hiding behind internet usernames and stuff. I don't have time for any of those people. I have too many interesting things in my life to waste energy on people who don't care about me. I just won't do it. Even, but to temper that just a little bit, like even my own family members, if I think they're wrong about their feedback, I'm going to tell them I think they're wrong.
Yeah.
Like I'm not.
That's true.
And you're like, yeah, I've seen you do that. You know, like one time, like our dad, he said something to me about, I don't even remember what it was, but it was something about how I was parenting my children.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I've had that.
Yeah, let's not go into that
Feedback.
topic too much, but I just looked at him and I said, Dad, they're not your children.
Yeah.
Butt out of it. And to his credit, he has, right?
Right.
But I'm willing to push back on people when I genuinely think they're wrong. I think a lot of like confidence in dealing with like mean behavior has to do with like confidence in your own moral positioning and like your own moral compass. Like if somebody said to me like, hey, you don't steal things, and I think you should. Like, why aren't you? Like, I morally am like, no, you're wrong. I don't need to listen to this kind of nonsense. And that's an extreme example, but that goes for a lot of stuff. And so I think one of the tricks to dealing with the negative comments online or just in your life generally is you got to have a moral compass, and you have to understand what it is and where it points you and trust it. And that ultimately allows you to navigate the waters of nastiness that's out there in a way where it doesn't bother you anymore. I think it's a big piece of the puzzle.
I think you know me well enough to know that if someone legitimately came to me with feedback about something that I had said or done that they were hurt by, that I would listen.
Yeah.
I would listen and I would try and behave different next time. So I think if someone has a legitimate, like, I was hurt by this, or I want to talk to you about this thing, I will listen to you. And I welcome you to call me on the phone and we'll talk about it. And if you do not have my number, you do not know me well enough to have that conversation.
That's a great way to think through that. Yeah. If you don't have my number, then I don't know you well enough to care.
Yeah, you don't know me well enough.
That's right.
For you to have an opinion about it.
Yeah.
Because I think anyone that knows me would know that.
I think that's true.
About
too.
me.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's true. You've made that pretty clear. And I'll even say this: if you come to me and you give me feedback about something, and I'm all ears, I'll listen, but you still might be wrong.
Yeah.
Like you've also got to be open to being wrong about some particular topic.
Steven loves to tell me that I'm wrong. It's his favorite thing to do.
No, you're pretty okay.
No, but you just like to see how far you can push me.
I do like to push buttons. It's the little brother in me.
It's so fun for you. But you do it more. You do it more with me than with the other two.
Well, you can take it better than the other two.
That's what he says.
Yeah.
Compliment.
What were the other questions that you liked?
Oh, I don't know. Those are
the ones that stuck out
Those
to
are the
you?
ones that stuck out to me. I'm trying to remember anymore. Best decision I ever made?
Oh, there you go.
Marrying Dave.
Yeah, Dave, your husband.
Dave, my husband.
Great guy.
Best decision ever. What's interesting about dating and trying to pick the person that you're going to spend your life with is you think you know what you want, and you don't always get what you want, but you just might get what you need. Someone famous said that. No, he's exactly what I needed.
I think that's true.
Exactly what I needed. He is the best. He is the most supportive. He's my biggest cheerleader. Like, and you kind of said the same thing. You know, you think that I can tackle anything and go for it and probably achieve it. And I do not feel that way about myself. But Dave feels that way about me. He just thinks I can do anything. And I'm like, are you insane? Look at this mess. But he truly thinks that, like, I could do anything I want and be successful at it. And that's so great to have someone cheering for you like that. And he just listens to, like, every cuckoo thought that I have on the planet. He's my safe space.
Yeah. And you got to have somebody like that in your life.
You have to have someone like that where you can just be unapologetically you.
Yeah.
And have them still respect you at the end of the day.
Yeah. You really do.
Yeah, he's the best.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I had to shout that out because I think it's the best decision I ever made.
Yeah, I don't know that I disagree with that.
Yeah.
I think that's probably it. Bailey, do you have any final questions, thoughts?
You won the lottery today.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the $10 million
I like this question.
Yeah.
question.
I like this
do
one.
like that one.
What's your next
Okay.
move?
I think I have it. Okay. So first of all, I would buy some land, like a couple acres, maybe on a river or something. I'm kind of tired of like suburban lots. I just feel very tight.
I don't know how people live that way.
It didn't bother me for a long time. Lately, I've really been enjoying just like going out into the forest and just like having some space to breathe. So I don't know where that would be. Just some land and have something where there's land. So I could be outside. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, I might buy a new car. However, I have a Honda Pilot. It's not the newer body style. It's older.
Yeah.
I love it. I just want Honda to like recommission a 2015 Pilot exactly the way it was, but new.
But put it back on the assembly line.
But put it back on
and
the
do
assembly
another.
line exactly the way that it was.
That is the lamest choice
I'm not
for a
done.
rich person's car. Okay, keep going.
I love my Pilot. I don't like the new ones. I like the old ones.
Okay.
Okay. It's lame.
It's like $10 million, and you're like, I'll tell you what, I'm going to get a new car, a 2015 Honda Pilot.
I've been
So
looking at the cars.
lame.
I don't like the cars that are out right now. Anyway, that's a whole nother issue. Okay, here's what we would really do. Okay, Dave would quit his job,
Okay.
and then together we would set up and start our own tour company.
That's
We
cool.
live right by Yellowstone. We live right by all this outdoorsy stuff. I don't know what it would entail yet, like river rafting, mountain biking, snowmobiles probably,
Sure.
razors. We would just like build a building, buy the equipment, and run a tour company.
And just
awesome.
play.
And just play.
Yeah.
That's
Love
what we'd
it.
do.
You know what? That doesn't surprise me that much.
Wouldn't
that you
that be
answer that way.
amazing?
be great.
Dave would have the best work day every day.
Yeah. You wouldn't have to wear like a button-up shirt to work anymore. Yeah.
No more. Patagonia all the time.
All day. Yeah.
All day. That's the dream.
Bailey, what about you? 10 million. What are you doing with it?
Dang. I don't know what I'd probably buy a new car.
Ooh, what's your car? What is
Don't
it?
blow it here, baby.
Make
I
it
know.
cooler than mine.
Don't blow it.
No, I'm going to get so much judgment no matter what I say because there's nothing cool like you said right now. Like there's so many
That's
things
what
that
I'm saying.
There is.
Everything is lame.
everything that I'm like, oh, I think this is kind of cool. And then there's a lot of negatives with it. I really want a Bronco though. I do.
The new one?
Yes.
Please tell me
Bronco.
it's the big one and not
Yes.
the sport. Thank you.
Not the sport, the big one.
The sport is such a waste of a car.
It is.
No
It
offense
really
to-
is.
No offense to the Bronco Sport owners. But then again, maybe
But
a little.
you made a bad choice.
You made
okay.
a bad choice. You know it's a really cool car.
Hmm.
It's like the 1970 Land Cruiser.
Those are cool.
Those are so cool.
Those
I've
are
seen
really
a few
cool.
of those out recently,
Yeah.
and I'm like, this makes no sense for my life. How cool is this?
Yeah, that's the thing. There's like this inverse relationship for how cool the car is to how useful it is for your life. And it's a tough one. It's tough to justify like a really cool car because the cooler it is, the less useful it is for you.
I know. I know.
That's a first world problem there, not it?
Okay, what if, I would need to learn a lot more about cars, but
Okay.
if I had like a Jeep Wrangler rock crawler that I could take down to Moab and do all of the
All the slick
all
rock
the
trails
slick
and
rock
everything.
trails,
That'd be pretty
but I
cool.
knew how to like drive it right, that would be cool.
That'd be cool.
That would be really cool.
Because we did a rock crawl tour and it was the coolest thing
Yeah.
I've ever done.
Did you do it? You did it in Moab?
We did it in Moab,
Yeah.
but they had an old Suburban chassis that they
Oh, so
they
could make it,
redid. It was huge.
put a bunch of people on it.
Yeah, that thing that they like monstered out. I don't know, Frankenstein it together.
Monstered it out. Yeah.
Like would eat Jeeps.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
it was insane. But
Yeah.
I saw some I saw some cool rock crawling Jeeps. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Love it. Love it.
Okay, so you got your car. So what else?
Yeah.
That's that's barely a dent.
This is true.
Yeah.
I would want to give back a lot. I feel like it sounds like a lame one when
It's
you're
better
like,
than like, oh, I would invest it.
I almost said that.
Yeah, so I would have teased you relentlessly for that.
Bring it on, little
Yeah.
brother.
But yeah, I want to do fun things with giving back. I'd want to go cool places, but while I'm there, I want to be able to spread the love. And so I think that would be probably what I would do. I would do cool things with my life. I'd go travel, but I'd be kind along the way.
You'd buy a ranch.
I'd buy a submarine first.
A submarine?
Wow.
That would be my first thing I would buy. Yeah, come on, guys. Think bigger than this, right?
goodness.
You've talked about ranches and horses for so long.
Yeah, I mean, I would do that
I knew it
too.
would be a ranch.
I would do that too. But my first purchase is a submarine because it's difficult to justify the submarine when you're down to 2 million of your 10, right? And so I'm going to start there as my indulgence spending first.
You don't live in the right place to have a submarine.
I don't. Why do I care? I have $10 million. I can go to the wherever it is.
Okay.
Okay. Submarine, windows, only windows is all it is. That's what the whole submarine is made out of. And I'm going to explore the ocean with all these windows. Okay. I don't think that's physically possible.
No, I don't think it is. But
I don't care. I'm rich. Make it happen. Okay. And then after that, I'm all about space exploration. Okay. So I want my own, like, I'm going to commission SpaceX to build me a rocket ship to take me everywhere.
I don't know that you have enough money.
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah,
they'd
10
cost?
million's not
care.
enough for
I
that.
don't
You're
care.
not Elon Musk rich.
I don't care.
I don't care. Find me more money.
You need 100 million to get started on that one.
I will pay somebody to find me more money.
He's going to invest his 10 million until he gets to the 100
That's right.
million.
Oh, that's great.
I'm just pretending like the 10 million is unlimited money. Like that's
Yeah,
how
it's not unlimited here.
It's unlimited.
Okay.
And so I've got a spaceship. Here's what I really want to do. I'm not even that interested in our own solar system, but they've discovered all these, like, what they call super Earths all over the galaxy and other galaxies, right?
You're thinking about Spaceballs right now, right?
Yeah.
The Ford Galaxy. Sorry.
And so I want to go see these other planets that have like a similar atmosphere and environment to Earth. I want to see the local flora and fauna.
This is very Ender's Game.
It is a little bit, maybe. I think, how cool could that be? How incredible would that be? Now, again, I know the technology doesn't exist. I don't care. Figure it
happen.
out.
Yeah, figure it out.
Make it happen.
Here's a big pile of money.
Yeah, here's all the money.
Do it.
Make it happen, right? And then, then I'd buy a huge ranch in Texas, and that would be it. That would be the end of it.
Of your 10 million.
Of my 10 million.
You really stretched that.
Of your unlimited 10 million. I need to think bigger.
You do.
Yeah, now I feel like
Yeah, a
mine sounds so
2015
lame
Honda
compared to that.
Pilot.
Mine is dumb. Okay, listen to this one. Okay. I don't like the Mercedes G-Wagon.
No, I think they're lame.
They are lame.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're very expensive. It looks dumb. Okay. What are you gonna do with it? I drive a Mercedes. Okay. However, I saw one in Florida that was matte red. You don't ever see a matte red.
Any car.
Any car.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
That's kind of a
This one's cool
Yeah.
because it's different. That's my problem. All the cars look the same.
They do.
Right now, all the new cars that they're
Yeah.
making, they all look the same. And I don't want a car that looks like everybody else's car.
I'm with you. With you. I can appreciate that.
Yeah,
gonna-
submarine.
I'm going to get
You can borrow my submarine.
2015 Honda Pilot, and we're going to rhino line it,
The whole thing.
the whole exterior,
Yeah.
and put rock crawler tires and suspension on it.
That would be the weirdest thing.
It would be weird, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
it would be so strange. Yeah. Oh, goodness.
Clearly, I'm into cars.
Yeah. Christine, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
Today, it was wonderful to have you. A lot of really great advice. Thank you for joining us today with Christine, the Frugal Fit Mom, on the Dragon Slayer podcast by East Idaho Credit Union. We'll see you next time. Well,
This
yeah.
is good.
Well, I know that because it's candy. But you always have like the healthy snack and
Healthy snack.
well, it's like pretending to be healthy snack. And then you always say something like, "Oh, I wish this was a Swiss cake roll." And I'm like, "It could be that."
Which was no milk cream pie.
Exactly.
Dang, I think we need to get new snacks.
What is that one there that you just said? What was the
It's
you just threw it on the floor?
I
Said
didn't
it's
want it in the
trash.
shot.
Okay.
Char, snack cakes,
Snack?
snack cakes.
Let me see
Perfect
this.
anytime treat.
Can you read what's going on
I am
here?
reading. That's what it is.
That is what it is.
Snack.
Snacks.
Feeling like a snack.
I want one of those. Are there more of them over?
Yeah.
There's a ton. There's a whole bin.
All right.
Here, I'll go grab one.
I got it.
Yeah. Go give me one of those little
I
snacks.
was a little peckish.
Okay. Take it easy there. Here we go. You want to get in on this?
No, I'm intermittent fasting.
Still?
I can't do it. Yeah.
You did it,
It gets
for
easier.
a whole day.
It gets easier every day.
I feel like
2
that's
days in?
overhyped.
You think so? Okay, so you're pretty into fitness. Why do you feel like it's
Convince me out of this.
overhyped?
Well, the question is why? Why are you
To go into
intermittent
ketosis, right? That's
fasting?
the
Not
whole.
necessarily.
What do you mean not necessarily?
That's not why some people do it.
Why did they do it then?
Some people think their digestive system needs a break. Some people think that it can help with diabetes, but it's not keto. It's different. Some people do it in an effort to lose weight.
But by going into ketosis, though.
No, not necessarily.
They don't.
You don't go into ketosis that fast. That takes days.
Well, it depends where your fuel source is coming from.
Okay, if you're
If you're
not on
intermittent,
keto, it's going to take days.
If you're intermittent fasting, but during your eating window you're just eating pizza, then yeah, you're gonna have a hard time going into
Yeah.
ketosis. Is that what you're doing?
No.
Okay.
Okay, last night I had French fries.
French fries.
I did last night.
So what's the reason? Just what's the reason?
I want to lose 5 pounds.
Okay.
And I feel like before I met Steven and he was my boss, I could eat 1 meal a day. And now I'm always hungry because he always wants to eat. So we always go to lunch. We do all these things. So I feel
He
like
does always go to lunch.
yes. And so I feel like I
Why
eat
are you
more
guys
now.
acting like eating lunch is so weird?
Listen, I don't intermittent fast, okay? So,
Do you eat lunch?
no, I don't eat lunch.
Okay, so why is everybody
Breakfast,
like
elevensies,
it's
and tea
it's
time?
so crazy? He's always eating lunch all the time, every
No,
day.
it's
it
that you
seems
go
like.
out to lunch. That's what it is.
Is that what it is, or is it that I'm
too.
eating it?
But I feel like I never got hungry before. I only needed 1 meal. That's all I needed.
I've had almost everybody that works for me come up to me at some point and be like, I feel like I've gained like 10 pounds since you started here.
Yeah.
I did.
Bad influence.
Andrea agrees.
So she's doing it as a weight loss thing. So basically, she's you're restricting calories. That's what you're doing. And by
Okay,
having a shorter eating window, she feels more satiated at each meal. That's what it is. It's not a ketosis thing.
That's not ketosis, but that also would work if you're just limiting calorie intake.
It's a method to limit calories, yes.
Yeah, and that's fine. Okay.
Some people think it's just like magic wand that's just going to fix everything.
Who thinks that?
A lot of people think that.
I don't
Like
think
who?
that.
Most people don't understand basic nutrition.
Why do people not understand basic nutrition?
People don't understand all kinds of things.
Yeah,
People don't understand how the internet works.
that's true.
Very
That's
true.
very, very true. People think it's like a magic. It's the cloud. They think it's just magic.
People, I have comments on some of my videos, and people are like, okay, yeah, like the viral video. They're like, okay, yeah, but where's the organic produce? I want you to make a video. No, they don't say I want you. They say, make a video using all organic produce, fully giving everyone all the nutrients, macronutrients, micronutrients they need. Oh, and they're also diabetic and do it on keto and on a budget for $10.
You have 3
Like
days.
you're a magician.
And I'm like, that's not how this works.